What's up guys, this is Dark Magician here and welcome to another KOF video. Okay, so basically for character introduction videos I was going for the global release of order for bosses, okay? But some of you guys requested I make a character introduction for Maki Kagura. Okay, now she's not next, okay, but maybe some of you are just curious to know more about some fighters that you might be using later. So I thought it's not a bad idea to mess up the order at some points and do a character introduction for a few. Okay, so today I'm gonna be doing a character introduction for Maki Kagura. Okay, so Maki is an API 14 gank. Okay, her stats, of course, being a gank, as you can see, all stats are moderate, nothing is too high, nothing is too low. Okay, her feature is strong control, okay, basically because she can apply seals on the enemy, okay. Now, her fates, destiny, you need Maki Kagura, you need Chizuru and Genet, okay, adding attack 25%. Classic boss, we need Maki Kagura, we need Orochi, Zero and Omega Rugal, adding attack plus 25%, and Family Guardian we need Maki, Crazy Yori and Kiyoness, increase in HP by 25%. Okay, so her fates are kind of hard to unlock because they all three of them require some bosses, but yet some of them might be easy, like Crazy Yori, Kiyoness. Basically most of you have them already. Okay, now moving to her weapon, Ultimate Yata no Kagami, and she uses a beauty badge and mana tome. Okay, now let's see her fight soul. Her fight soul is Raging Bear Soul. Why is it called this way? Because she's basically a wild bear soul, as you can see, getting 115 initial rage, which means she can ultimate at round 1 and recover some rage when attacking or attacked. So this is basically a characteristic for Adder Soul and for Tortoise Soul. So she's a mixture of 3 souls. Okay, so Wild Bear Soul, adding some rage when attacking, that's an Adder Soul part, and when attacked, which is a Tortoise Soul part. Okay, now let's see her passive. 3 sounds. Decrease male fighter crit rate. Okay, Maki is immune to seal and silence effects, so she can't be silenced and she can't be sealed. If Genet is deployed in battle or in aid, ally or enemy, it will increase own 20% attack and 8% resistance rate. So that's a very nice buff. You can use Genet as aid, for example, or in main team, and it doesn't matter even if he was in the opponent's team. Okay, so she gets 20% attack and 8% resistance rate. And of course, after Maki is defeated, she will resurrect as Chizuru and recover 30% HP and 50% rage. So she has a 100% chance to resurrect. She always resurrects as Chizuru. Okay, with having 30% HP and 50% rage. Of course, this value will increase after gates open and maybe after weapon. I'm not sure about the weapon, but for sure after her second gate, she can ultimate at round directly after she resurrects, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so decrease enemy male fighter 10% crit rate at level 1. Of course, it can go higher as you level it up. Okay, now moving to her skill, her minor skill, God's Reason. Attack a single target, 30% chance to increase 2 random allies, 200 rage, increase damage against targets with seal by 60%. Okay, so she has a certain percentage to increase allies for increase rage for allies. Okay, 200 rage and the chance is 35%. Okay, for 2 random allies. Okay. Also, the targets which are affected by the seals, as I mentioned, she puts seals on the enemies after she does her ultimate. She will do extra 60% damage for those targets that have seals on them. Okay, now moving to her ultimate, True Zero technology, attack all enemies. Okay, so basically like Chizuru, she targets everybody. 30% chance to randomly seal 2 targets, so she will affect 2 targets at max. Okay, 30% chance, will not get any rage and it can be dispelled. So what is the seal? The seal is basically it's a mark, a red mark that is applied on the target. The target having the seal cannot regain rage any longer. Okay, as long as he have the seal on him, he won't be able to recover any rage, even no matter how much the opponent attack him. Okay, And of course it can be dispelled. For example, Ignis or Instinct or Genets, or any debuff, any fighters that can clear debuff, they can remove that seal. Okay, now the seal basically lasts 2 rounds. Okay, the fewer the enemies, the higher the damage. So if Maki had less opponents on the other field, she will do more damage with her ultimate. And if the seal is dispelled, it will explode, dealing 12% current HP damage to the target. So basically, as long as the seal is there, the fighter can't regain any rage. And if the seal was removed, it will explode and it will deal additional damage, which is equal to 12% his current HP. So either way, it's a bad thing, okay, for the enemy. Okay, now since I don't have Maki at the moment, I'm gonna use another app to talk about her gates. Okay guys, so now we're here at the other app, the UG KOF'98. It's a very nice app. I advise you guys to download it because it has a lot of information about all the bosses released, okay, all the API fighters. And basically everything is here, everything you need to know, so you can download it. It's very good. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about the gates. Now let's start with the passive, the second gate. Okay, so once we put it on, it appears. So decrease all fighters crit rate. Okay, same thing. Maki is immune to silence and seal. Basically, it's the same, but as I've mentioned, she recovers 50% HP instead of 30%, and full rage. Okay, so the resurrected Chizuru will have full rage when she resurrects, and will using 8 element skills, which means she will do her smacks. Okay, so that's a very nice passive. Now moving to her fourth gate, or the small skill, attack single target, first minor skill guaranteed. So here the difference is that she will always do the minor skill at turn 1. There is a 50% chance to increase to random allies 200 rage. It was 30 before, 30%, and increase damage against targets with seal by 60%. So basically the chance of increasing the rage for allies has increased a little bit, which is very good. Okay, and her smacks, or her ultimate skill. So basically she attacks a column and additionally deal damage to whole enemy team. So as Chizuru, it's basically the same animation as Chizuru. She will attack a column first and then will deal additional damage to everybody. Okay, this additional attack does not recover rage. So the attack that is done for the column will not make them gain any rage. 40% chance to randomly seal 3 targets. So the chance increased and it's now 3 targets instead of 2. Okay, unable to trigger critical attacks or use ultimate. Of course, once the opponent is sealed, will not gain any rage, and it can be dispelled as we mentioned. It lasts for 2 rounds. Fewer enemies, the higher the damage. Same thing. If sealed target is attacked by Maki, the seal is dispelled. So here the difference is that if Maki attacked the target with the seal will be exploded. And before it was something like it can be dispelled, but as it is dispelled, it will explode. So basically here, once you attack him, the seal will be exploded and will deal additional 12% current HP damage to the target. Other allies have 30% chance to trigger explosion. So apparently other targets as well will have a chance to explode the seal. So here the difference is that the seal can be exploded without the need to remove it by some cleansers. Okay. And also when the seal explodes, it will recover rage for Maki. Okay, with every seal that explodes, Maki will recover additional rage. So that's very appropriate. Being a wild bear soul, she can recover rage faster this way. Okay, and of course if adjacent enemies are also sealed, the seals will explode as well. Okay, so it's like a chain effect. If one seal is exploded, the nearby seals will explode as well. Okay, this info. Oh, okay. It's basically the same as the Chinese version. So that's basically the version we will have in global and also in C. Okay, so this was her skills. Now let's go back for some tips, some final small tips about Maki. Okay guys, so we're back to the main screen. The last question is Maki a good character, and where to use Maki? Now basically Maki is a very good character. Of course she can be a very good replacement for Chizuru, so people using Chizuru will definitely switch to Maki because she's just a better version of her. Okay, now being a an area damage dealer, being a control dealer, being a gank, she can be very versatile. She can fit in many teams, but basically of course I would recommend using her in female teams and in wild bear teams, also in tiger teams at some points, because she can recover rage faster than other wild bears. So it's possible that tiger teams might be okay, but of course priority goes for female teams and wild bear teams. Okay, now where to put Maki in the team? According to the videos we all see on YouTube, basically everybody just put her in the top position at the front. Okay, why is that? Basically because Maki can seal. Okay, and once she seals, the opponent will not regain rage any longer. So all the attacks coming after that will not make the opponent gain any rage. So that's a very good idea to use her at the front and in the top position. Okay, and because she can resurrect as Chizuru for sure, so this kind of gives her persistence. Okay, such that the front row will persist for a long time. Okay, so she's kind of like Kula, basically. Also being according to her soul, because she has 3 souls in one, it's not a bad idea to put her in the front. And of course if you want her to do damage as much as you can put her in the back, but I think her most uses are at the front. Okay, for runes, if I'm gonna mention some suggestions, basically I can't do any suggestions. She's kind of like Kula. You can give her Chaos for extra control, you can give her Wolf's Anger for extra damage. Basically I think those are the best two rune sets that you can give for Maki. Okay, I hope we get her in global as soon as possible. I have my clubmate waiting for her. I think 2 clubmates are waiting for her. Can't wait to see her in their teams. And that's it for Maki, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, just tell me, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace out.